That clock's only
All right.
7:01.
It is 7:02 and I will call the June 26th Newcastle Select Board meeting to order, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge
allegiance to the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moving on to the minutes. We have well, before I get into that, I want to welcome Kevin Sutherland as our interim town manager. Kevin just stepped onto the job today, so he's already
Be nice.
figured everything out and he knows
fixed.
everything.
We're good to
so
go.
We're good to go. So anyway, thank you, Kevin, for stepping in.
Thanks for
helping us
having me.
out. Yes. Oh, and we've got, of course, a new face here, Rufus Percy, who's new to the board again today.
First day
So
on.
ask
stay
him all
on
the
the
tough
job.
questions.
Yeah.
So
Sure, I'll have plenty of answers.
Yeah. Anything, yeah, we're gonna direct everything toward Rufus. And yeah, so moving on to the minutes. I think we can combine 4, 1, 2,
So
2, and 3.
Rufus hasn't been.
Right. But we're gonna combine, do I have a motion to should be 4.1, 4.2, 4.3, and 4.4. Do I have a motion to approve or to approve all those minutes
Combining.
combining?
Mhm.
Moved by Karen. Do I have a second? Seconded by Tom. Any discussion on the minutes?
Okay.
All right, all those in favor? All right, passes for
Abstain.
one abstention. All right. Moving on to public comments not on the agenda. See some people in the audience. I think there's probably a couple of questions. I will say, again, board request public comments are limited to 5 minutes per subject. So if you have the same subject as someone else, just we're just gonna try and keep it as quick as possible. All right. And yeah, so any public comments not on the agenda. All right. Just that you gotta approach the table, state your name. Your clock is running.
Hello, I'm Katharina Keelan, and I was here last month and I addressed to the gully in the side of my property and I grumbled. And I'm here to personally thank Seth Hager, our road commissioner, because within a few days he filled it in and tapped it down, and it may last until it's actually fixed. And I'm very pleased, and I wanted to make it public that I'm very pleased and you responded very quickly. So that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll pass that along to Seth.
Yes, please.
All right, anyone else?
Show and tell.
Nothing stinky in there, right? No dead fish or anything.
I want to thank Seth as well for attempting to clean up the mud on North, I'm Go Weary. We've had awful mud this year. The mud goes back, I can remember 60 years and more. I've driven over the road for 75 years, almost 75 years at this point. But Seth has put down
Which road?
North Direneck Road.
North, okay.
But this applies to South Direneck
Yep.
Road as well.
And other dirt roads probably.
And probably some other dirt roads. And what he has tried to do is put down a mile of what I look at as smaller riprap along it. And he rolled it down as well. He's been in regular touch. When I call, he calls back and he does respond. And I'm very grateful for that. And he also knows that the work is not finished yet. But driving a mile each way at 5 miles an hour. I don't know how many tires in South Direneck Road and North Direneck Road have been destroyed because of this. And we all worry when we drive to the end of the road, whether we're going to make it to the end of the road. And parts of the suspension shake loose. My handyman's exhaust system was knocked out just because it was shaken apart. And even when it's pressed down, and it does get somewhat pressed down, you're still riding over dirt, over rocks, and it's driving. I mean, you can imagine driving through a mile of this each way, every time you go home and go out. It's a town road. I think Seth understands it's not acceptable. It's got to change. When I get home, or I say, is it really that bad? And then I drive out again and I say, yeah, it's really that bad. So I bring this to your attention. Again, Seth is aware of it. There needs to be another step. I don't know whether it's putting a layer of gravel on top, but a rock road as a public road just doesn't wash in the castle. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thanks. Don't forget your bucket.
Still put those back on the road.
Any other comments on the agenda?
Kathleen Hogan. I was just hoping to get an update on the next steps and time frame with the traffic and parking ordinance that got voted down at the town meeting.
So we've got a couple of edits that legal was gonna get back to us with. And then we'll have another public hearing at some point, but we've got, yeah, it's nothing that's gonna happen tomorrow or next week. We've got a couple other things kind of going right now, and it is in the middle of course the road construction season, which is a busy time with the road commissioner who's involved in the plan, but we will keep you updated. So the short answer is I don't know. I hope to be able to get to it soon.
So this season, you think?
That's the hope. Yeah.
Truck Season, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I guess a lot of the history was lost. Now the town manager's gone about our back and forth with her on this, and DOT was involved as well. So I don't know if you want to see some of the notes on that.
Are you, I don't know what you're
Which
speaking.
subject?
You're talking about the roads ordinance?
Yes, on the ordinance. Primarily, she was quite tied to having it be the townwide vote, and I'm not sure if you guys were all in on that. But it can be something that's just passed by the select board. And I don't know if you know that, and if that will save any time at all, if that's your choice. So she may not have been communicating that to you, but I have the email from the DOT guy and the statute and so forth. It might help you out in terms of the need to have another hearing and a public meeting and all that sort of thing.
Okay.
Kathleen, I'll be happy to take that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my understanding is we can do whatever we want with policy, but ordinances have to be voted on by the town, if it's an ordinance.
You should look. have a
Agree on
look
that.
at
We
that.
will, yeah, we will
Yep.
look at
The
that.
statute is actually, I printed up the statute as well, which the DOT guy.
Okay,
Okay.
all right, great.
Go.
Thank
And that's
Thank
in
you.
30A?
Yes.
Yep. Cool. Thank you.
And if you need help, she wasn't interested in having a volunteer from the community, but if you're gonna do anything more substantial than just that legal wording, I'd be glad to volunteer and put some of the research to use if you need it.
Great,
Okay,
thank
thanks,
you.
Okay, thank you.
I'm making note of that.
Careful what happens when you volunteer. Sometimes you might be sitting over here at some point.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else? Yep.
Steve Ward. I was just following up with what Bill had said about North Diana Road. We all came in for it. It's pretty terrible. We've gone through $1,000 in tires, cutting them. We had a vehicle with 12,000 miles on it. We had to replace the tires because one got cut. And it was $1,000. I've lost 2 trailer tires, my race trailers. You can't walk down the road without twisting an ankle. So it's pretty much crushed blast is all that's on it. So it needs to be covered with a finished gravel of some sort. That's not made for a road finish. And Seth had said it's DOT approved, which I doubt that's DOT approved to drive on down a residential road. So I'd just like to see it tended to, that's all.
We'll look at it.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know if it's any different looking than South Darneck Road? I drove on South Darneck. I
South
haven't driven
Direneck
on-
is in better shape. There's a few spots with it.
Okay,
So South Direneck still has some of the regular dirt, and then it has some of the blast where it washed out or.
Bill, you're on North Iron, is that?
What's that?
Steve.
north.
Oh,
Yeah.
Bill too, yeah.
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 Okay.
So yeah, we're losing tires. We're
Yeah.
spending money to get up and down the road at this point.
Yeah.
So.
All
Yeah.
right. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Any other comments on the agenda? Roger?
My name's Roger Wilcox. I live on North Dianeck Road also, but my comments are for the North Newcastle Road. And I'm speaking about the weight limit that's been on that road for eons. I know when that was posted and why it was posted, and it goes way back to when Neil and Campbell was the first selectman and Paul Bartlett was second selectman, and the road budgets back then weren't what they are now. So somehow they managed to get enough money together to pave the North Newcastle Road. So after it was paved, Nealon, he lives on the North Newcastle Road, and he said, well, I don't want them trucks driving on my road, so we're gonna post them. So that's how and when it got posted, and that's been a long time ago. And my feelings on that is that, you know, that's why we work on roads, that's why we fix roads, that's why we maintain roads, so that it's passable for vehicles to use. And I measured the road, you know, it's over 20 feet wide, so there's two 10-foot lanes on that road, 10 feet in each direction. And I feel like that road posting should disappear. It's not like the Lynch Road where the bridge is out or in trouble. And I fully understand why that road should be posted and is posted. But the North Newcastle Road is not in that condition. It's a good road. It's probably better than most roads in Newcastle right now. And it's in good shape. And there's no reason that it can't be opened up to a truck. It's, you know, to post the road because people don't like trucks or they don't like the noise or they don't like the size of them. It's not a good reason to post the road. And if that's what we're going to do with this ordinance, I'm not in favor, you know.
Yeah.
No, it's not, just educate me. I thought we only did a seasonal posting on North Newcastle Road.
What is,
No,
what is the weight limit on that road?
well,
Technically, there isn't any.
Yeah.
I know that it was, I think it was 26,000 pounds. Which is the start of where commercial vehicles
Yeah.
start. Okay, so I've had a tractor trailer come down my road to deliver me some equipment. So I said to the guy, where's your next delivery? And he says in Sheepshead. So his limitations, if that road is posted, his ways to get to Sheepshead, go out the end of our road, take a left, go all the way to Head Tide because the Dock Road is posted because that's got a bad bridge. So he's got to go all the way to Head Tide, take a left on 218, go all the way down 218 to the Sheepshead cutoff. That's how he gets, or he comes out of my road, takes a right and goes all the way in town, up the southbound on-ramp to Route 1, down past the Dodge dealer to the Sheepshead Road and takes a right to go to Sheepshead. Now that's quite a burden for when there's no legitimate reason for that road to be posted, you know, and I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. And if that's where we're going to use this ordinance, I'm not going to be in
Yeah.
favor.
So I'm out of the loop here. Can somebody explain to me what's going on with this posting?
We don't have, so the road is not,
It's not permanent.
it's not post, it's not, there's
It
no,
was,
there's,
I don't know if you took it down now.
it's not. So
In
it's
the
not,
spring, I know it's posted
Right,
and
it's
that's the
posted.
reason. and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
So we don't-
okay with that.
we don't have that posted. We don't have that road posted right now. Permanently. posted.
Roger, are you saying there's an orange sign that's on the?
No,
No,
he's talking about,
this was a metal sign.
Oh, okay.
And it was posted.
Yeah.
With a weight limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, maybe that's not in the plans or maybe it's discontinued.
I think the idea with the roads ordinance again is it's to make it, again, we don't have any enforcement per se in Newcastle anyway. So
Right.
because we don't have a police force.
Right.
But the idea is that any of the road postings that we do, any of the parking, temporary bans or situations that come up, we don't have this in place. There's no backing behind it. So none of it means anything.
Yeah.
The idea with this is to make it so that, again, the posting on Lynch Road, that could be illegal. We could
Sure.
legally post that. And again, luckily we live in a place where most people will look at a posting and just follow what it is because they want to do the right thing.
Sure.
But the idea with that also is that if we're going to post a road, either temporarily or permanently, we got to have some backing to why we're doing that.
Sure.
There has to be a reason for it, and it has to be something that we
A good reason.
that we
Right.
do, and it has to be recorded as to why. And so on the North Newcastle Road, again, when I first came onto the board, that was the big question: is how are we going to fix North Newcastle Road? Everyone,
Yeah.
we're going to do it next year. We're going to do it next year. We're going to do something next year. And we did have kind of it was described to me as in certain sections, a peanut butter and jelly sandwich,
Yeah.
where the peanut butter and jelly was squeezing out of the two pieces of bread.
Right.
And when we did we did a substantial amount of work out there, and we tried to address a lot of those issues.
Yeah.
So the road is in a lot better shape
It
than it
is.
was when.
Definitely.
So I think that's the other side of what this road ordinance is. It's not meant to be, it's more of a framework for the town to work through. So that if we do post a road, or when we post a road, or if, whatever it is, that there's reasons behind it, and it can be shown.
So you're not planning to permanently post a weight limit on that road?
No, I mean, we're
Yeah.
planning on getting this framework in place. And again, if there's a road that for some reason needs a posting, then we can do it through that process.
Yeah.
But it's not meant to,
Prohibit all industry in the town.
right, right.
Yeah, I mean, and I know there's people that live on that road that don't want any trucks on that road.
Yeah.
And there was a woman here that spoke in the last meeting, and she said, well, I can still get something, right? I mean, if the road's posted, and I mean, so that's kind of, that's not a good reason to post the road.
Right.
So that's my concern.
Yep.
And one other thing, quick thing is, I'd like to see the town invest in an electronic message sign, such as like Wiscasset has, and such as like Woolwich has. And, you can post like the selectmen's meeting is tonight at 7:00, or there's a planning board meeting, or the town office is going to be closed Friday for training, or the, dog licenses are to be, and you can change this with the computer keyboard, and it's, once you make the investment, it's free. After that, you can put a message on there anytime you want, and I just thought all the traffic that goes by the town office, it would be a good way to get a message out to people. I don't know what it would cost or what.
I think at one point we looked at not the neon sign, or not the bright sign that you see like up at the church, but there was some other sign that had white with black lettering. It looked a lot like a regular sort of vinyl stick sign, but it was electronic. It actually looked pretty good. I remember, I think Ben had looked into it at one point, so we should call that up again. It wasn't a bad idea. I vaguely remember cost being an issue with that.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know
Yeah.
how expensive they are, but I just see them. And as I drive by those signs, and I say, oh, there's going to be a selectmen's meeting tonight, or, or taxes are due, or whatever the case may be. And once you make the investment, it's, it's easy enough to change the message.
Yeah.
Okay.
And does anybody know when the plowing contract comes up again?
Yeah, we need to do that, right?
We're in an extension.
Yeah. Oh, the
It-
plowing
It
contract.
might be a year.
road.
We were just gonna look into that.
Yeah.
It might be a year from now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of like to see
Maybe.
something changed in the bid process of that. Salt usage is, I talked to Seth about it, and still on the side of the road out by our house, it's still, there's white in the road. And when was the last time we had a snowstorm where they used salt? That's how much salt is out there that they've been using. So I felt like if the salt was included in the budget and the contractor paid for the salt, they'd be a little more conscious about how much they're using. And if it was coming out of his pocket versus the town, well, they're paying for it, so let's put it on there. I know the state has bought an awful lot of wells and drilled new wells and paid for filtration systems. And so, I mean, it is a concern, you know, how much soil you use. Okay, thanks.
Thanks. All right, any other comments? All right. Now you don't have anything to add to this? You good? All right. There you go. So I want to see the bucket of mud next time with it. And then we can.
The spring,
bring it
yeah.
here. All right, moving on to 7.1, appoint chair and vice chair of the select board. Is that time of year?
Every year, it's so fast.
I would like to make a nomination for Karen for chair of the select board this year.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
Only if I get lots of help.
Yeah. Give you all the help you want. No, when I stepped into this role, I really wanted to make sure that there's a little bit of musical chairs that plays around just so that you don't get bored with hearing me talk all the time. And yeah, just a different point of view and a different way. But Karen's been great vice chair, and yeah, it's gonna be great if you wanted to.
As long as you sit there and go, remember, we have to vote on this one.
So
Well, I just want to add, I think Karen does a lot of legwork for this board.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
she does research, and you're always, you just have always, you're always prepared, so.
Thank you.
when I found out that Karen was running for select board, I was like,
Karen, what's your, where are you in term?
Year 2 of 3.
Yeah, 2 or 3,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
So next
Yep.
June is another.
I'm a
election
year
for-
behind you, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
it's her reelection.
Feel like-
Yeah, so all those in favor of appointing Karen Paz as Newcastle Select Board Chair? All right, passes 4.
One extension.
All opposed? All opposed?
Thanks. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah, okay. All right, great.
Awesome.
But that leaves another hole,
So now we got vice chair.
unless anyone's gonna jump forward. Rufus, hey, how you feel? I won't do that to you.
Thanks.
I'll nominate Joel as vice chair.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
We'll tag team again.
Yeah, that'd be great. So. But you.
Oh,
do
I
we
have to do it?
We have to switch. Oh, yeah, I guess you technically have to do it because you're board chair.
You-
So
Oh,
you have to-
well.
you have
there you
to-
go.
All in favor of Joel as vice chair.
I'm voting for this one. I'm real excited. All right. Do we have to switch sides or can we just?
I think we can stay where we
Okay,
are.
all right.
I'm sorry, Karen, did you vote for yourself or not?
No, I
Oh, you
abstained.
Abstained, okay.
I voted for myself.
Just
though,
taking
'cause
some notes.
I need all the votes I can get.
All right, so wait, does that mean you finished up
you're-
the meeting or do I have to take over now?
No, now you're taking over,
Oh, man.
Yep.
Okay.
which is good because I don't know anything about 7.4. So
Nope, that's true. Okay. All right, then we will move on to 7.2 with the fish ladder harvester compensation proposal and Jim. You can
Okay.
do it.
For those who don't know me, Jim Brakelow, I'm the Elwise Fish Committee member for Newcastle. And we just finished harvesting this year. Disastrous year, basically. Really bad. And I think just we did 2/3 less harvesting than we did last year. Last year we had like 1588 trays, with big bait trays that we sell. And this year we only had 539.
The weather, you think it was that cold snap in the middle, Jim?
We had like tremendous amount of rain. And then we had the cold snap. And then the lake rose 2 feet.
Yeah.
And you must have been down there when we were blowing the water out of the lake. We blew water out of the lake for 2 weeks, just prior to the harvesting season. But again, it's hard to say because the alewives are cyclic. Okay. And we've seen this before. Back in 2017, we had 554 trays sold, which is equivalent to what we did this year. So it does go up and down.
Mhm.
What's the exact cause of that every year? I can't tell you. But anyways, that we digress. What we want to talk about is because we have such a variation in the amount of fish that we harvest. We also have a big variation in the amount of dollars, gross revenues that we're talking about. And we received a letter from our fish agent, Mark, who's fish agent for both Newcastle and Lumberbrook. And he came up with some options, I guess, that he wants us to think about.
Jim, do you have a last name?
Sprinkler.
No. Yeah, the man that you're talking about, Mark.
Becker.
Oh, Mark Becker. Yeah, sure.
And
Good answer, though. I like that.
Yeah.
Touche.
so he put this together. I don't know if you guys have seen it. but,
Yep, we have.
With some options. I call them options for future considerations as far as pay goes, how to distribute that so it's fair and evenly to everybody. And he came up like maybe I think I come up with 4 different options that I didn't come up with, he did. He's looking one option may be some sort of an agreement of how the harvest money should be distributed. And so a written agreement that both towns agree on. Another option is he wants to maybe split the harvesting dollars 1/3 to the harvesters and 1/3 to each town. The third option is maybe put out a contract for the harvesting operation to make someone bid on that contract. And then he also made some comments about if a person's doing manual, he's doing labor on the fish ladder versus doing labor on the harvesting equipment. To me, if you're working on the harvesting equipment, repairing it, you should get paid out of harvesting. If you're working on the ladder, you should be getting paid out of monies from the Kruger, who's the electric company that provides us with $5,000 for maintenance of the ladder. It's kind of a no-brainer. So we don't have to decide right away, but we want to think about how we want to do this. A simple way to do it would be just come up with an hourly rate and decide how many people you want working there. And then on top of that, you put some sort of stipend for the fish agent himself above and beyond. And then you put in a few more dollars for repairs and maintenance of harvesting equipment, not ladder, but harvesting. So that's what we want to think about doing. I kind of like the idea of just coming up with a dollar figure. What's a dollar worth? I mean, hourly rate wise.
Well, the third would vary hugely every year. It could.
Yeah. I actually went back and looked at the last 12 years with the revenue dollars. And when I look back, it was only like 1 year that we could actually meet the one third without exceeding what I considered an adequate hourly wage for maybe 4 people. But it's the variation that gives us trouble from year to year. So Mark is interested in, and I am too, something that's somewhat consistent. And because this is a tough issue. Some of us are getting older than the other ones. And we need to be able to attract younger group to work. How do you attract a younger group to work 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
And at 5 a.m.
And at 5 a.m., he works for 3 or 4 hours, goes home, comes back in the afternoon, works another 4 hours. I mean, that's a hell of a tough shift to deal.
You almost have to be retired to do that.
Correct. That's kind of why everybody there is retired.
Yes, but some far retired.
Yeah, right. So,
I assume that has to do with the tide. Is harvest at low tide or high tide or
No.
what's the?
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
The 5 a.m. is because the lobstermen use that bait.
Okay, so it's
then
a
go-
freshness for market.
Right.
Understood.
Again, what you find is all the younger guys come out. They'll actually be there at 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning
Mhm.
To be first in line.
to be first in line.
They sleep in the trucks.
They sleep in the trucks. We sometimes have to go.
Wake
You're up.
It's time to get up. We're starting. And
Oh my.
they want to be first. That
Yeah.
is the most important thing.
Because they're headed out on their boat.
They're heading out in the boat. Those fish will be in the trap that same day.
Yep.
And the guys that can't get up in the morning, they come in the afternoon and they'll bait the traps the following day.
Jim, is there a, sorry,
No, I have a hand up.
go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't mean to steal.
No, I can't talk unless I get called up. Now I've given up my. So I just wanted to say that this is, the exact issue. We're starting to work on this before the pandemic hit. We were starting to work on a lot of things. Pandemic really threw a monkey wrench into a lot of momentum that we had moving forward with things, but working on you mentioned the agreement between the
Right.
towns. And I think that this is just like a part of that piece. And so maybe
Oh,
it's gonna,
absolutely, yeah.
maybe it's gonna take a little bit to get all the way around to getting this all neat and tidy, but this is definitely a great piece to work on. So maybe if we focus on kind of working on these pieces incrementally, it'll then coalesce into the document, because there's,
Yeah.
again, it's one of these things where where's the agreement between Newcastle and Noblesboro for
Oh, wait,
what we
it
do?
was in 1795. It was like this.
Yeah, yeah, except
Yeah.
you're Noblesboro,
But-
and I spit in my hand, yeah. But yeah, so I think that's part of it. And
Correct.
again, we got to get back into doing our joint meetings.
Yeah.
We have to do it together with
But I-
Noblesboro crew.
but I think we
Yep.
got to do that. And I'll just, but if the fish ladder committee wants to make some extra money, they could sell coffee and donuts for the guys who are waiting in the truck. That'd be a good.
That's
so
an
a
idea.
Little.
Yeah.
Really good, strong coffee. or Something.
So do you think we probably should get together with the fish ladder committee?
No, with
And-
the selectmen, Noblesboro selectmen. The fish ladder, what we're kind of going or leaning towards now is the fish ladder committee would be responsible for just the fish ladder,
Okay, not the harvesting.
not harvesting. We would do the harvesting and we'd separate those funds. You know, but we separate them just for kind of a bookkeeping aspect. Because on major projects, we go in together.
Yep.
Smaller projects, if it's harvesting it, we will pay for it. If it's fish ladder, then they pay. But like the bridge.
Yep.
We're gonna go 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 on that. Each town pays a third and the harvesting committee pays a third. And that's still scheduled for August of this year.
Yep, good.
Replace that.
So Jim, I'm trying to get a visual on the actual tasks. So the fish ladder task, I mean, the harvesting task is somebody working the hopper and then working sort of the end of the end of the
We have
six-foot. Is it
7 or 8 people.
Dippers.
7 or 8 people?
Yeah.
Dippers, yeah.
we have dippers and we set screens up.
Yeah.
Behind the dippers.
Yeah.
Which prevent the fish from going up that big
The waterfall.
dam area.
Yeah. And these would be harvesters, not fish ladders.
They would be harvested,
Yeah,
yes.
okay. And there's 7 or 8 of those?
I think that there's
It's
at
7.
any given time 7.
7, okay.
That's the other thing. I mean, do we need 7?
Yeah.
You know, but that's part of that. That would be part of the agreement too.
So then the fish ladder task or job description is doing what then?
Fish ladder makes, well, they do repairs on the fish ladder.
Yeah.
And, sort of keep it nice and neat.
Okay,
And, there's also a safety aspect, involved in both the ladder and the harvesting.
Who puts the nets up?
Huh?
Who
The-
puts the nets out?
The netting over the fish ladder. you
Yeah.
mean?
Mark and Kurt.
So then we get the Mark and Kurt. job.
Yeah, I know.
And then the counter falls under the, I know, like where does that person go?
Kurt's the count, one of the counters.
Right.
They have 2. They're paid by Kruger Power Company.
As part of that 5,000 or
No,
separately?
It's separate.
Okay.
Kurt's paid separate also because he works in that
For
building.
Kruger.
Yeah.
Power.
Yep.
Gets a little complicated at times.
Yeah.
Hey, you work with what you got.
All right, so it sounds like our next task then would be to couple of us get together with a couple from the,
What we might want to consider
what's
is
a
just
forum there though?
going to maybe the Noblesboro Selectmen's meeting. You, me, or whatever, who wants to
Yep.
come. And just say this is what we'd kind of like to do, a direction to head into. You know, with some sort of a document. That would be the ultimate end result of that.
Right. We'll have to, I guess we'll have to give some thought to what would make most sense or what would be easiest to, it's gonna be easy to administer too.
Oh, yeah,
But you
But-
think generally people are working 7 to 8 hours a day, 5 days a week for about a month?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay, anyone else have any other questions? All right, we'll have to figure out, I think they're talking about it there too. As a result. of
I can
March.
make sure they do. Yeah, I can, if you want, I can go to their meeting. Which is next week. And just kind of prep them a little bit if you want.
Chum the waters, if you will.
Yeah. Something like that. And see if they bite.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Here we go, huh?
Hey,
Welcome.
Bob, your uncle. I gotta get out of here.
This could be an upstream battle.
All right.
Stop.
Okay.
Anything else? You guys have to educate these two guys.
You did say you checked the last 12 years, and if we set an hourly wage, only one of the years would it not have met that? Is that what you, did I understand that
Something like
correctly?
that, yeah. Let me give you what I did.
Okay.
And, again, I just set an hourly rate at $25 an hour. And then an extra stipend from Mark at 6,000. So it's coming out with 23. And so I wanted to get some idea of.
Yep.
Can we carry that all the time? Will we have enough funds in that every year in order to cover that amount of money?
Yep.
And
I think if it were a corporation, you'd pay $20 an hour and give a bonus if possible,
Right.
Depending on how many fish are
depending on how
harvested,
many
maybe.
fish are harvested.
yeah, there's different ways to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a sliding scale.
Right.
If you want. But the way I look at it is the work is there. I mean, if you're there, you work.
Yeah.
Whether you're, harvesting 5 trays an hour, 30 trays an hour.
Mhm.
Some days you're working a lot, some days you're working a lot harder than the other days, but everybody does that.
Mhm.
And, you should be compensated, I would think, the same amount per hour.
Yeah, and right now it's just a set stipend of, not that much money.
Yes.
Yeah.
You,
Yeah.
you kind of look at what.
Yeah.
What Mark did, there's an arbitrary factor involved. And
Okay.
I hate to say this, but I'll leave you with this note. For most of the people there, he was suggesting that we pay them $15.50 for the time that was spent there. And I think that was 3 weeks work. Well, that comes out $50 an hour.
Okay.
So I'm practicing up on, do you want Frank's? Do you want French fries with the, with
I think-
your,
You're gonna have to make it a little higher than 1550 if you want to get somebody to do it.
Yeah.
Plus if the way Jim looks at the end of a shift is any indication, he's worked pretty darn hard.
Yeah.
I'm still not done. I do all the paperwork. And I do all the reporting for the state makes us report. Every single licensed person has to report a daily catch. And get this, even though you don't fish that day, you gotta tell them you haven't fished that day. But it got to be a pain in the neck for a lot of the guys because you've got this form that you have to fill out, so.
Yeah.
I set it up on the machine. I can do it a lot faster than they can, so. I do it for everybody.
All right, so Nobleboro meets next week.
They meet Wednesday of next week, yeah.
The day after, the 4th or 5th.
Yeah, it's a 6.
4th is a Tuesday.
So 5th, okay. Well. All right, so I'll touch base with you, Jim, because maybe I'll go to that one with you.
Oh, please, yeah, that'd be good.
Okay,
That's the-
and they're at 6, correct?
No, I think they're 5.
Oh, at 5, that's right, before dinner, blue plate
Yeah,
special.
yeah, they do the 5.
Okay,
That
Anything
keeps
else?
that keeps the meeting short.
yes,
Yeah. I think that's it, yeah.
yeah. No, I think that's good. Thanks, Jim. Thanks for the numbers too.
Sounds great. Jim,
Thanks a lot,
Hey, Jim.
See you guys.
Thanks.
All right. Next thing, 7.3, we have our certificate of recommitment that we have to sign all over each page because it's for different years, but this just lets the new tax collector collect the taxes. It's, I guess it's a formality we have to do every year. But it's when we have a change of tax collector for sure. So this is for like the last 4 years, 5 years. So it's just something we all have to sign. We'll start.
Move it
Well, we have to move to what?
to sign it,
To sign it?
Yeah.
Okay, then.
make a motion.
Oh, man, see, keeping me honest. All right, then do I have a motion to sign it? That seems weird, but okay.
Mm. I'll
Get a
move.
movement. I'll second it.
All right.
But I have a comment. I'd like to see it before.
You see it first? Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
fine.
Yeah.
There's not much money on there, and Jim was telling me that the amount changes, like if one person comes in and pays the taxes, like the forms are wrong, but it
Mhm.
doesn't matter. We just have to sign them to say that that the tax collector can now collect these are back taxes
Oh, okay. yeah,
from
yeah.
20 back to 17, 19, no, 19, I think.
I wonder what happens if we don't approve it, then they can't collect the
They-
back tax.
They can't collect the taxes.
Wow, make some people happy.
Yeah, well.
See it before we.
So, yeah.
This.
Never seen this.
Yep.
Who would?
I don't need it. No, you guys are the ones
Yep.
making the
Yep.
motion.
All right, then all in favor? 5 passes 5-0. And then we'll start signing that. The 7.4 is just an
Who made
informational.
who Seconded the motion.
I seconded.
I
Toward-
moved that. First one I moved.
Thank
See,
you.
these are, and just FYI to make life easier, these are videoed, so Lauren usually
Can
will
watch
watch
'em
them.
after?
Yeah,
Yeah.
as well too.
All right.
All right, so we got an email from Rochelle Welch. She said that she and Mike are planning an event on July 16th. It's a car show at Mike's place in the parking lot. They're going to serve food and water. No alcohol will be served at this event. We'll have a DJ, police presence for traffic control. Store will be open. There will be signs present saying no alcohol shall be consumed on site, not in site, but I guess on the site. Mike and I, along with my adult children, will also be watching for such. Violators will be ejected from the event by the police. The event will be held on the 16th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. So just letting us know. So they don't need a permit, an alcohol permit, because they're not serving any.
Great.
Great. Well, town manager's report. Kevin, do you have anything that you wanted to bring up or ask? us about
Sure, I
today?
do. So,
right.
I have some documents for you to sign, including the sworn statement that I did with the clerk today to actually
yes.
make me your interim town manager.
Yep.
And another copy of my employment contract, just so we all have
We can-
one actually physically signed piece,
Okay,
even though we've all done it already. And then I also have another warrant document in addition to the pile you have there that's related to our payment to the county.
Oh.
So what's budgeted is actually $10 less than what the county has for us. So we're gonna,
they gave us a
we're gonna
bad
be $10
number.
off. No, we owe them 10 more dollars.
No, I know, but they gave us a bad number to start with.
I think you got a bad number to start with
Man.
by
okay.
$10. It's all right.
Yeah.
I think we'll be okay.
Yep.
Out of $457,000, I think 10 will be.
Mhm.
Okay.
So are we,
If you were to ever be audited,
Yeah.
I don't think it would impact you.
so what is it that we're,
You're just approving that you guys budgeted the money to pay the county. This
okay,
is a document saying we're gonna send you the check after July 1st.
okay.
So I'll pass that around.
We-
You don't need to take a motion.
Okay.
Just
Just sign it.
sign it. So that's going around. I also, so thanks, I'll start with, thank you for the opportunity to serve the town of Newcastle. I'll do my best to serve you and the residents of Newcastle. Because I'm only, and this is in my contract, I'm only serving the town for 3 days a week. I want to be clear with the select board and the public what my intent for office hours are. I intend to be in the office on Mondays and Tuesdays all day and into the evening. and I'll be available remotely all day on Wednesday. My cell phone number, people are interested in texting or calling me, is 207-631-1793. So I am open book. You can come chat with me or give me a call or send a text. I'm also have now access to the town manager at newcastlemaine.us. So those are the best ways to communicate or stop in the office on Monday or Tuesday. And unless I'm off working with Seth on trying to figure out some road issues, or I'm riding around with the assessor or the code enforcement officer, I should be in the office. Or riding around with Karen. Thank you for the 2 hours of exploring Newcastle and learning about some really incredible things that are happening. Of course, next week falls on a holiday.
Right.
So that is one shift. I'm going to remote on Wednesday, and I'll be here on Thursday and Friday next week. And I know that we're working on some of our finance stuff on Fridays. So that'll give me a chance to meet up with the contract help you have there. So maybe
I'll fill you in.
we'll talk.
Yeah.
So my focus this week is making sure we meet our end of fiscal year requirements, and to get all the necessary contracts in place, to meet with all the staff as well as the appointed and elected officials. At least got to meet the elected officials this evening, all of you. And then I need to establish all the necessary access to online systems and the databases to assist our staff going forward. So that's my focus this week. In the coming weeks, I'd like to find some time to meet with each of the select board members one-on-one to get your perspective on things. And at a future meeting, review, and I have the bylaws here, take a copy. I already gave one to Joel and Rufus. Those are document that I found as sort of a homework for all of us. So at our next meeting, I hope we can review this and see if there's any changes you want to make. It's just a sort of a mini refresher course for us. I think, Tom, you have my copy, so I'll get it from you later.
We're supposed to do this every year anyway,
yeah.
right? So
Yes, so
Next
that's
meeting.
why I'm
Yep.
handing it out as a reminder to take a read through and see if there's anything you questions about, you want to change. I might, just given my perspective,
Yep.
I'm working for several towns, might have 1 or 2 things that I recommend to you to consider. But I hope we can at least maybe workshop it at the next meeting and then approve it. And then finally, I hadn't seen anything about select board goals. I don't know how often you guys consider what you want to accomplish. I mean, I've heard about some ordinances that are sitting on the back burner. Kathleen, she already left, but
Yep.
her bringing that up, I just reviewed it. It is a unique ordinance in which you do have authority to set without having to do the whole dog and pony show with other ordinances. So that's something we can explore and look at, but they've been sitting on the back burner. There's some cleanup things we need to do with it. There's a comprehensive plan that the community supports. While it's not approved by the state yet, might make sense to look at some of the aspirations the community has identified and try to work to include those in future plans. There's some grant opportunities that Newcastle may want to explore. Now I'm hearing about a fish ladder harvest. I want to know what you as a select board really want limited staff time to focus on going forward. Yeah, we got some things, little busy things that I need to work through, but that doesn't mean that you can't utilize some of the additional time I can give you to solve some of the stuff. So
Good.
And since you'll be looking for a full-time manager in the weeks and months ahead, having an idea of what this new session select board wants to see happen will be helpful in promoting the position and the kind of manager you're looking for. So I would hope that maybe we can look at doing that. Karen, you and I can talk more. But you're the chair. There's 2 other things that are coming up. The Mid-Coast COG. It's a council of MCOG.
There we go.
So that's
Yeah.
what you call it.
MCOG.
Mid-Coast Council of Governments. There's their general assembly is this Thursday at 11. I know the prior town manager served as one of the representatives, but at the general assembly, there's 2 members of each community that are technically allowed to vote. There's both an in-person and a Zoom office, and it's Thursday. I don't know if any of you are interested in participating in that and being a part of it, but it's and I can send whoever's interested. It's either at Rockland City Hall or it's via Zoom. So let me know if you're interested.
Can't remember if we
Did
had,
you get an email? I don't know if at one point I was representing
I thought you were.
the
Yeah.
town.
Okay, so you and
So I still-
Sarah were.
I still get the emails. I was just,
No, I don't.
problem is they always have these meetings like middle of the day and they're always not in our town. So, yeah.
The Zoom's in your town.
Yeah, the Zoom's in our town, it's true. So.
That's one. And then tomorrow, NEPRA, which is the parent company of the Downeaster, they're talking about a rail that runs from Brunswick all the way up to Rockland and doing a trial run in 2024. So there's an initial meeting with some of the towns that are along that corridor tomorrow at 3. So I'm going to attend that one. It's another Zoom meeting, but I'm going to attend that one on Newcastle's behalf.
Great.
Also because I have a very good working relationship with NEPRA. When I was the city administrator in Saco, we have a train stop there. So it'll be good to connect with Patricia Quinn, who's the executive director there, and see what the proposal is. So I'll come back at another meeting and give you an update on how that conversation went. I think it's more just the nuts and bolts of what they're looking to do.
So I can Zoom to the McCog meeting.
Would you like me to forward you the link again or?
Sure. Yeah, do that. Yeah. Please, thanks.
That's my report.
Excellent. Thank you.
A lot
That's
for
a lot.
day one.
Yeah. Especially
job.
when a big chunk of it was a tour. All right, so we have a fiscal warrant for $225,361.47. Do I have a motion to approve? Joel, second.
Up
Thank you,
to,
Rufus.
up to.
Or in this case, I guess it will be up to, yes, 225,361.47. Did anyone find anything in it? I've got a couple of things, but did anyone else find anything else in it that was?
I have a question.
Yep.
So I think we talked a little bit about the phone charge for the fire department
Oh,
last meeting.
cell phone, or at least a couple meetings.
Yeah,
ago,
there's an AT&T phone charge. So I wasn't clear again, like what is this a new phone or are there multiple phones? I'm just not clear on.
Oh, wait, it's AT&T. Let me go back.
So in the past, again, showing my old age now, but when we, fire chief used to have a cell phone, but we had a cell phone line for that in the budget.
Yep.
We haven't had that for a couple of years now.
For years
So,
anyway.
so if this is a new thing, and the only thing I did notice was that it's fire company, not department.
Yep,
So-
so like the harbor master has a cell phone. It's a town cell phone, so it's in the town's name. So I think we have to have the fire company change the account, or we have to change the account, but they'll probably have to be involved from Newcastle Fire Company to the town of Newcastle if we're going to be paying for these. But I guess we need to also know, it looks like there's 2 cell phones there. Maybe, it looks like 2. So I think we need to get to the bottom of if it's 2 or if it's something funky.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope we're not paying $215 a month for a cell phone. That's a lot.
There was a past due charge. The current charges are, looks like $87.38 for
Okay.
the two lines, 2 phones. I don't know. I'm gonna have to get to the bottom. They have separate numbers too. So I don't know why there's 2. So maybe
So that's a direction to me.
you can ask a question
I'll
for
look
us.
into that for you and get
Yeah.
back to the. select
Okay,
board.
that would be great.
Thanks.
I think the motion of up to 225.
that would be good.
addresses that.
Well, and also because there's a charge in here for $89.98 to Louis Doe's for planters. I think it's called cedar planters on one thing. Maybe it just didn't get paid, but we approved that I just pulled up the warrant from the last meeting and we did approve that at the last meeting.
Okay.
So maybe it's just a crossing in the mail thing, but if we've already paid it, then that can come off here. And to Damascotta Hardware, there's a charge for $69.99 for a flag that says it's tagged for Veterans Park. But there's also a credit here. It was returned because, were you there, Tom? The fire department, I think, put up a flag in Veterans Park when all the other ones put on the poles.
I wasn't there.
You
for
weren't
that.
there? Okay. It appeared that we had taken down the tattered one and a flag appeared the day they put up all the other flags in town. So I assume they did it. And the gentleman who normally puts up the flags had gone to Louis Doe's and bought one and saw the new one up there and returned it. So the statement on here shows the return. So that could be coming off here too. So up
Okay.
to. Did I just talk too fast and overwhelm you? Because
No, I got it.
you got it,
I got it.
because
I'll find that.
we all know the stores, but I just
Sure.
realized you don't know the stores necessarily. Okay.
Louis Doe's and then something about
yeah.
secure planners, which I'll find.
And then
maybe
Deb's got a
now.
hardware for the flag.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so up to the 225,361.47, all in favor? Hasn't 5-0, great. So I think that's it. So otherwise, we do have a motion to go into executive session under 1 MRSA section 4056A personnel.
So moved.
Second it.
All in favor? 5-0 passes. All right. Want to start signing stuff?